On November 24th, 1971, a man walked into an airport carrying a briefcase. No security alarms, no second looks, no suspicion. He didn't look important. He didn't look dangerous. He looked like someone you would forget the moment he walked past you. And that was the point, because within hours, he would commit one of the most unbelievable crimes in aviation history, and then do something even stranger. He would vanish, not escape, not hide, vanish. No confirmed identity, no confirmed death, no confirmed ending. And even today, more than 50 years later, the FBI still cannot say what happened to him after he stepped out of a flying aircraft into the night sky. And here's the part that still doesn't sit right with anyone who studies this case. He might have survived. This is the story of D.B. Cooper, and the deeper you go, the less sense it makes. The day before Thanksgiving is one of the busiest travel days in the United States. Airports are crowded. Flights are packed. Everyone is rushing home, which makes it the worst possible day to notice a single man who doesn't stand out in any way. At Portland International Airport, a passenger bought a one-way ticket to Seattle. Cash payment. No questions. No hesitation. The name on the ticket, Dan Cooper. Mid-40s, dark suit, black tie, white shirt. Ordinary enough to disappear into a crowd of hundreds. And that's exactly what he did. He boarded Northwest Orient Flight 305, a short flight, less than an hour. Routine in every possible way, until takeoff. Shortly after liftoff, he ordered a drink. Bourbon and soda. Calm, relaxed, controlled. Then he handed a folded note to a flight attendant. At first, she assumed it was harmless. A phone number, a message, something routine. But then he leaned in slightly and said something that instantly changed the entire atmosphere of the plane. "Miss, you'd better read that note. I have a bomb." Inside the note were clear instructions. $200,000 in cash. 4 parachutes. A fuel truck ready upon landing. No emotion, no panic, no negotiation. Just demands. And then he opened his briefcase. Inside were wires, cylinders, objects that looked like an explosive device. Whether it was real or not, nobody ever confirmed, because nobody was willing to take the risk. And here's where the situation becomes unusual, because most hijackings fall into chaos immediately. Shouting, panic, threats, emotional instability. Not this one. Cooper remained calm. He spoke politely. He thanked the crew. He even finished his drink. It was not fear. It was control. As if the entire situation had already been planned long before the plane ever took off. The cockpit was informed, then the airline, then the FBI. And suddenly, a routine passenger flight became a live hostage situation in the sky. But what confused investigators the most wasn't the bomb. It was him. Because he wasn't acting like someone desperate. He was acting like someone prepared. Hours passed as authorities scrambled to meet his demands. The ransom money was gathered. Every bill was photographed. Every serial number recorded. At the time, investigators believed this was their breakthrough. A traceable path. A guaranteed lead. They were wrong. It would become one of the only pieces of evidence the case ever produced. The plane eventually landed in Seattle. The money was delivered. The parachutes were delivered. And Cooper kept his word. All passengers were released safely. They walked off the plane unaware that they had just been sitting beside a man who would become one of the greatest aviation mysteries in history. But the flight wasn't over. Only the crew remained. And Cooper issued new instructions. Fly toward Mexico. Maintain low altitude. Keep speed controlled. Keep the cabin unpressurized, configure flaps in a specific way. These were not random demands. They were technical instructions, which raised a disturbing question. Who exactly was this man? As night fell, the aircraft took off again. Rain moved across the Pacific Northwest. Clouds swallowed the sky completely. Below them stretched endless forests, mountains, rivers, and darkness. A landscape where people disappear and are never found again. And Cooper knew it. Then came the moment everything changed. A warning light appeared. The rear stairs had been activated. The Boeing 727 was one of the few aircraft capable of lowering its rear exit during flight. And somehow, Cooper knew how to use it. That detail alone changed everything investigators believed. Minutes passed. No communication. No response. And then, a subtle shift in the aircraft. A change in weight distribution. Almost imperceptible, but noticeable enough for trained pilots. And then, silence. When the aircraft landed in Reno, authorities rushed in immediately. The cabin was empty. Cooper was gone. The money was gone. One parachute missing, and only a few personal items left behind. A tie clip, and a mystery that refused to end. The FBI launched one of the largest investigations in its history. They searched forests, rivers, mountains, remote wilderness zones. Nothing. No body, no parachute, no ransom money. It was as if the sky had erased him completely. Then, 8 years later, a boy digging near the Columbia River found something buried in the sand. Bundles of decayed cash. Still identifiable. Still traceable. The serial numbers matched Cooper's ransom money exactly. And suddenly, the case came alive again. But instead of answers, it created more questions. Because now, they knew the money existed outside the aircraft, but not how it got there. Did Cooper survive the jump? Most experts say no. Night, rain, cold, mountain terrain, zero visibility. Survival should have been nearly impossible. And yet, no body was ever recovered. No confirmed remains. No closure. Others believe the opposite, that Cooper was trained, that he understood aircraft systems, that he had parachute experience, that he didn't fall into the wilderness. He landed in it, and simply walked away. In 2016, after 45 years of investigation, the FBI officially closed the case. Not because it was solved, but because there was nothing left to investigate. And that is where the mystery still stands. A man boarded a plane, took control of it, jumped into the night sky, and disappeared completely, without a trace. So the question remains, was D.B. Cooper a man who died in the wilderness? Or the only person in modern history who successfully vanished mid-air and was never found again? Because somewhere between that aircraft door and the forest below, the truth stopped following him.